Good morning everyone and Sairam. So welcome to this session of social science. Today I welcome you all in history class. Students, in last video we have completed geography chapter number 4, that is air. I hope that you all must be understood this chapter. So in this video we are going to start class 7th history chapter number 4, the Mughal Empire, and this is part 1. So let's begin. Student, this is the image of Red Fort of Delhi. I think you have seen this historical monument, right? Okay, so this is the image of Red Fort of India. But do you know, earlier this Red Fort, was the residence of Mughal emperors. That means Mughal rulers. This Red Fort was the residence of Mughal emperor. Okay, now let's start. First understand who were the Mughals. So who were the Mughals? The Mughals were the descendants of two great rulers, right? The Mughals were the descendant of two great rulers. Now, from the mother sides, Mughal were the descendant of Genghis Khan, and from the father side, Mughals were the descendant of Timur. Now the question is who was Genghis Khan and Timur? So first of all, Genghis Khan. So he was the ruler of Mongol. Basically, Genghis Khan, he was the founder of Mongol Empire, which became the largest contemporary kingdom or empire of that period. Genghis Khan basically came to the power by bringing many Mongol tribes of Northeast Asia, and then founded Mongol Empire. So Genghis Khan, he just ruled over the Mongol tribes, China and Central Asia. Timur. Now next is Timur. So Timur, he ruled over Iran, Iraq, modern day Turkey. Clear? So, who were the Mughals? Mughals were the descendant of two rulers, like from mother sides, they were the descendant of Genghis Khan, and from father sides, they were the descendant of Timur. Now the question is what is this father side and the mother side? Okay, now let's have a look. So, here is the family tree of Babur. First, Timur, emperor of Timurid Empire. Then came Prince Miran Shah. Then came Prince Sultan Muhammad. Then Sultan Abu Sayyid. And then came Prince Omar Sheikh Mirza. And then at last Babur. So when Babur finally just came to the power, so we can say that Mughal period was started. So from the father sides, Mughal were the descendant of the Timur, and from the mother side, they were the descendant of Genghis Khan. Clear? Okay. Now next. Now just look at this map. In this map, Mongolia is located just above the China. As I told you, basically Genghis Khan, he just ruled over the Mongol, right? So here is Mongolia just above the China. Okay, now a miniature painting dated 1702 to 1712 of Timur, his descendants, and the Mughal emperors. So Timur is in the center, and on his right is his son Miran Shah. Basically, Miran Shah, the first Mughal emperor's Babur's great-great-grandfather. Then Abu Sayyid. Abu Sayyid basically Babur's grandfather. Then to the left of the Timur are Sultan Muhammad Mirza, Babur's great-grandfather. And then next one is the Omar Sheikh, Babur's father. Now the Mughal emperors, Babur, Akbar and Shahjahan, are the third, fourth and fifth individuals on the Timur's right. and on his left in the same order are Humayun, Jahangir and Aurangzeb. So they all celebrated genealogy pictorially, each ruler getting a picture of Timur and himself. Now next is why Mughals emphasized their Timurid, not Mongol descendant. Students, basically the Mughals, they did not like to be called Mongol or Mughals. They just proud to be a Timur. Now there were two reasons. First, Genghis Khan's memory associated with them, and second, Uzbeks. So Genghis Khan, basically, as I said, from the mother sides, they were the descendant of Genghis Khan, and Genghis Khan is associated with massacre of innumerable people. He killed many people, right? Second is Uzbeks, another Mongol tribe, and Genghis Khan, he just ruled over them, and Uzbeks were the great or the biggest competitors of the Mughals. So because of these two reasons, first of all, the memories associated with Genghis Khan, and the second one is the biggest competitor is Uzbek. That's why these Mughals did not like to be called Mongol or the Mughals. Basically, they're proud to be a Timur. Not because their ancestors captured Delhi in 1398. Because of this, they just do not like to be called them Mughals or Mongols. Now, here is the list of the Mughals lineages. Here is the list of the Mughal ruler. First, Babur. So he was the first Mughal emperor, or we can say that he led the foundation of Mughal empire over the Indian subcontinent. So his time period started from 1526 to 1530. Now then came Humayun. Humayun's time period started from 1530 to 1540. Now there is a gap between 1540 to 1555. So basically in this time period, another dynasty ruled over the India. So then again in 1555, Humayun recaptured and re-established Mughal rule in India, and he ruled after that, he ruled for 1 year. Then next came Akbar. Akbar's time period started from 1556 to 1605. Then came Jahangir. Time period 1605 to 1627. Then next Shah Jahan, and then after that Aurangzeb. Basically, Aurangzeb was the last powerful ruler of the Mughal empire, right? He was the last powerful ruler of the Mughal empire, because there were many rulers after the Aurangzeb, but he was the last powerful ruler. And if we talk about the last ruler of the Mughal empire, so Bahadur Shah Zafar. Bahadur Shah Zafar. Bahadur Shah Zafar was the last Mughal ruler, and about the Bahadur Shah Zafar we are going to study in standard 8. Okay, now let's read about all these Mughal rulers one by one. So let's start with the first ruler, Babur. So Babur's time period started from 1526 to 1530 AD. So as I said, Babur, the first Mughal emperor, but before invaded over the India, he ascended the throne of Fargana. Fargana, it is in Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan. So he ascended, that means Babur ascended the throne of Fargana. It is in Uzbekistan, a small Central Asian kingdom, in 1494 AD. At that time, Babur was just 12 years old when he ascended the throne of Fargana. But very soon, he was forcing to leave his ancestral throne due to the invasions of Mongols, that means Uzbeks. Then after the year of wandering, he captured Kabul in 1504. Right, so he seized Kabul in 1504, and after that he invaded over the India. So when Babur invaded over the India, so at that time over the Delhi, Ibrahim Lodi was ruled over there. Do you remember who was Ibrahim Lodi, children? In previous chapter, that means in third chapter of history, we talk about the Delhi Sultan. Ibrahim Lodi was the last ruler of Lodi dynasty. So when Babur invaded over the India, so he clashed with the Ibrahim Lodi. Basically, he fought with the Ibrahim Lodi, and Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat. In which year this battle was fought? 1526 AD. Clear? Ibrahim Lodi, Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat in 1526, and in 1526 Babur laid the foundation of Mughal Empire over the Indian subcontinent. So that's why Babur was the first Mughal emperor. Now let's read the important battle during the time of Babur. So first is the first battle of Panipat. So this battle was fought between the Babur and Ibrahim Lodi in 1526 AD, and in this battle Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi. So the entire area up to the Delhi and Agra brought under the control of Babur after the first battle of Panipat. Now in next year, Babur defeated Rajput ruler Rana Sanga in the battle of Khandwa. Right, Khandwa battle was fought between Babur and Rana Sanga in which year? In 1527 AD. So the battle of Khandwa made Babur's position stronger in Delhi and Agra region. Then in next year, battle of Chanderi. So this battle of Chanderi fought between the Babur and Afghans. Right, battle of Chanderi was fought between Babur and Afghan, and in this battle Babur defeated Afghan in 1528 AD. Clear? Now after that, basically Babur also tried to crush the Afghan chief of Bengal and Bihar region, but he was died in 1530 AD before he could strengthen his position over the conquered region. Clear? Basically, after the advent in India, Babur introduced a new mode of warfare in India. Basically, he showed that victory can be achieved by the skill combination of artillery and the cavalry. His victories made gunpowder and artillery popularly in India. Babur was also a scholar of Persian, Turkish and Arabic. So Babur has written his biography. Babur has written his biography, Baburnama. So Baburnama, basically it was the biography of Babur, and which is also known as Tujuk-e-Babri. So this Baburnama is regarded as most important literary work, and in this Baburnama, Babur described physical feature and the natural beauty of India. Clear? But Babur died in 1530 AD without consolidating his position in the conquered region. Basically, before he could strengthen his position over the conquered, he was died. Okay. Now after Babur, next Humayun came to the power. In 1530, Babur was died. So after the death of Babur, Humayun is inherited the throne of Delhi. After the death of Babur, Humayun divided his inheritance according to the will of Babur, but his ambitious brother Mirza Qasim. His ambitious brother Mirza Qasim weakened the Humayun's power in India. Very soon, Humayun he lost his kingdom to the Sher Shah Suri because of his power also weakened. So he lost his kingdom to the Sher Shah Suri. Now the question is, who was Sher Shah Suri? So Sher Shah Suri, an Afghan chief of Bihar region. Basically, he was the founder of Suri dynasty. When Sher Shah Suri attacked over the India, that means over the Delhi, so Humayun was ruled over there. So Sher Shah Suri defeated Humayun in the two battles. First at the Battle of Chausa. Battle of Chausa fought between the Humayun and Sher Shah Suri in 1539 AD. Then second battle is Kannauj, Battle of Kannauj. This fought in 1540 AD. So basically, in both the battles, Humayun was defeated by the Sher Shah Suri. Right? Then basically, he just forcing him to flee the Iran. So Humayun he just fled to Iran, and in Iran he received help from the Sabit Khan. Clear? So basically, in 1545, Sher Shah Suri died in the siege of Kalinjar. So after the death of Sher Shah Suri and receiving help from the Sabit Khan, Humayun re-established the Mughal Empire in 1555 AD by recapturing Delhi and Agra. That means 1540, after 1540 till 1555. So who ruled over the India? Suri rulers. That means Sher Shah Suri ruled over the India. Clear? So after the death of Sher Shah Suri and receiving help from the Sabit Khan, Humayun again re-established the Mughal Empire rule in India in 1555 AD and by recapturing Delhi and Agra. But Humayun died in 1556 AD. Basically, he did not live long to enjoy the fruit of his victory. He died while coming downstairs from the first floor of the library in 1556 AD. So after the death of Humayun, Humayun's wife built a very magnificent tomb for him. Humayun's tomb. Who built Humayun's tomb? Humayun's wife built for him Humayun's tomb. It is a remarkable feature, right? It is a tomb with a white marble. Now, after Humayun, his son Akbar came to the power. That means Akbar ascended the throne of Delhi. So first of all, about the Sher Shah Suri we will discuss in the next video in a brief, and then we will also understand about the rest of the we also talk about the rest of the Mughal emperors in the next video. So that is for this part. Now quiz time. First, the Mughal Empire. First of all, the Mughal Empire was founded by Babur in dash. That means in which year he founded. Options are 1398 AD. Option B 1494 AD, and option C 1526 AD. So when Mughal Empire was founded by Babur? Option C 1526 AD. Now second question. Humayun's tomb was built by. So who built Humayun's tomb? His wife, that means Humayun's wife, his brother and his uncle. So who built Humayun's tomb? His wife. His wife built Humayun's tomb for him. Next question, question number 3. Humayun was defeated by dash. First option is Rana Sanga, second option is Sher Shah Suri, and the third option is Mongols. So Humayun was defeated by Sher Shah Suri. Option B is the correct option. Sher Shah Suri. Now question number 4. Humayun recaptured Delhi in which year? So options are 1555 AD, second option 1556, and C option 1557. So when Humayun recaptured Delhi, basically after the death of Sher Shah Suri and receiving help from the Sabit Khan, that means in 1555 he just recaptured Delhi again. Now move on to the next question, question number 5. Babur established control over Agra and Delhi before his death. Now just tell me, this statement is true and false, or true or false? This statement is true. Babur established control over Agra and Delhi before his death. Now question number 6. Name the battlefield where Ibrahim Lodi was defeated by the Babur. So Panipat. Answer is Panipat. Now move on to the next question, question number 7. Who was Genghis Khan? Genghis Khan was ruled over the Mongol, China and Central Asia. He was the founder of Mongol Empire. Now next question is, who was defeated by Babur at Chanderi battle? So first of all, Chanderi battle fought in 1528, right? Now this battle was fought between Babur and Afghans. So in this battle, Babur defeated Afghan in 1528. Is it clear? Okay. So that's all for today. We will meet you in next video. Till then, bye and have a great day.